But what really happened? Did the Neanderthal line die out, or was it to some degree assimilated? The 10,000-year struggle was so gradual that it may have been scarcely perceptible, a fitful, inconclusive war with land lost and won at the rate of a few miles in a lifetime. Yet, like all wars, it sparked innovation. New tools and weapons appeared, new clothing and rituals, the beginnings of cave painting, an art form that would reach its height during the last great fling of the Ice Age after the classic Neanderthals had gone. We also know that cultural contact went both ways. Late Neanderthal sites in France show change and adaptation at a pace never seen before. By then, near the end, the war's implications must have become dreadfully clear. It seems that the last Neanderthal bands held out in the mountains of Spain and Yugoslavia, driven like Apaches into rougher and rougher terrain. If the warfare picture I've sketched has any truth to it, then we face unpalatable conclusions. Now, this is what makes the Neanderthal debate so emotional. It is not only about ancient people, but about ourselves. If it turns out that the Neanderthals disappeared because they were an evolutionary dead end, we can merely shrug and blame natural selection for their fate. But if they were, in fact, a variant or race of modern man, then we must admit to ourselves that their death may have been the first genocide. Or worse, not the first, merely the first of which any evidence remains. It may follow from this that we are descended from 1,000,000 years of ruthless victories, genetically predisposed by the sins of our fathers to do likewise again and again. As the anthropologist Milford Wolpoff has written on this period, you can't imagine one human population replacing another except through violence. No, you can't, especially not on the blood-stained earth of Europe, amid Stone Age forebodings of the final solution and the slaughters of the Somme. In the aftermath of the Second World War, William Golding explored ancient genocide in his extraordinary novel, The Inheritors. The book's epigraph from H.G. Wells invokes Neanderthals, though the anthropological specifics fit better with much earlier stages of mankind. Yet Golding's anachronisms don't matter. His people may not fit any particular set of bones from the real past, but they stand for many. In the course of a few spring days, the supposedly more primitive folk are invaded for the first time by people like us, who, with their boats, bonfires, arrows, raucous voices, wholesale tree felling, and drunken orgies, baffle and fascinate the forest devils, as they call them, even as they kill them one by one. At the end, only a mewling baby survives, kept by a woman who has lost her own child to drain the milk from her breasts. The invaders then move on through the new land, their leader plotting further murders now amongst themselves. Golding had no doubt that the ruthless were the winners of prehistory. But another question he raised is still unsettled. Does any Neanderthal blood flow in modern humans? How likely is it that during 10,000 years of interaction there was no sex, unconsensual though it may have been? And if there was sex, were there children? DNA studies on Neanderthal remains have been inconclusive so far, but the skeleton of a child found recently in Portugal strongly suggests interbreeding, as do bones from Croatia and elsewhere in the Balkans. I also have personal evidence that Neanderthal genes may still be with us. A few modern people have telltale ridges on their heads, and I happen to have one. A bony shelf across the back of the skull that looks and feels exactly like the Neanderthal bun. So until new findings come along to settle the matter, I choose to believe that Neanderthal blood still flows, however faint, in the Cro-Magnon tide. Despite the many details of our ancestry still to be worked out, the 20th century did broadly answer the first two of Gauguin's questions. There is no room for rational doubt that we are apes, and that, regardless of our exact route through time, we come ultimately from Africa. But unlike other apes, we tamper, and are tampering more than ever, with our destiny. For a long time now, there has been no such thing as that Enlightenment wild goose which Gauguin sought, the natural man. Like those arthritic Neanderthals who were cared for by their families, we cannot live without our cultures. We have met the maker of Hamlet's piece of work, and it is us. Thank you very much.